Hey, what's up, guys? So, for today's vlog, on just kind of giving you an overall idea where I am, first off, with our last colony, our comic book graphic novel that we'll be launching in spring. And kind of the whole idea with these vlogs was just really as a way to do two things. One is kind of share what we're doing with the vlog, what we're doing rather with the comic book graphic novel, but also kind of give kind of a little bit of behind the scenes of the different steps that I'm going through, and kind of open it up for the world, and not only for your guys' opinions and thoughts and those sort of things, but also to help out other artists or illustrators or those interested in getting into comics and wanting to go out and do the stuff. And I think one thing that's really important, regardless of wherever we are in our process of in our involvement of growing as illustrators, as designers, as comic book creators, I think it's really important that we open ourselves up for the possibility of those not liking necessarily the work that we're doing. And so it's important to do that so that we're just, any reaction that we get upon the work that we're doing is good and positive, regardless of whatever it might be, because really, in the truth of it is, it's an opportunity. So just kind of plug in first, kind of show you where we're at. So I've done a little bit of updating on our website. And if you go to our website, and right in the middle at the top, you'll see the last colony. And there it is. So the last colony, and kind of the thing is, we're going to be setting out to launch in late spring, actually about May. And we'll be doing a crowdfund on Indiegogo. And basically what we need to launch some sort of comic book like this, we're going to need ultimately your guys' help to make this a success. And I think this is such a fabulous time in terms of where we are right now with making comics and developing comics. You know, one opinion is that, well, comics is dead. And I would argue absolutely the difference is that there's such an incredible opportunity. First and foremost, just how the artist has direct contact with those that are taking in the content, taking in the comic books or purchasing the comic books, and just having that direct interaction with the actual creators. I think that's so important. It's so exciting in terms of where we are. So if you would, go to this page, so ElijahLoving.com / the last colony, and there you'll find a little page like so, and you'll find where you'll be able to type in your name, last name, and then your email address, and then be able to subscribe. So the last colony is an adventure about a last remaining group of survivors in a dangerous post-dark America. Hopefully not prophetic, but in the course of the chaos, a family is ripped apart, and one member is thrown into circulation to an elite military unit. When they discover that she is still alive and have reunited as a family, the situation deteriorates faster than they can handle, and two of them are suddenly kidnapped by a group of so-called marauders. The small group is thrust into a desperate attempt to rescue their loved ones in the crossfire of a gruesome military conflict, which they want no part of, known as the Second American Civil War. So that's kind of the basis for this story. We're continuing to work on the script. For the most part, I think we're like 95% done. Obviously, and that's one thing as far as with comic books, you go through the entire creative process, and then you're still, just like any movie or any other production, you're making cuts along the way of like, well, this information's not needed. I thought it was needed at the beginning in terms of telling the story. Find out that it's not. So it's kind of why I say 95%. The other thing in regards to where we are with that is that I won't show you all the character sheets, but I will show you guys this, and I think it's kind of cool. So just kind of give you an idea of what we do is that we have it basically, so we have, there it is. And this is a little bit more, bam. See that right there? Aiming for the camera. So anyway, kind of what we do is just kind of break it up, and you can see here some of the drawings are really quite messy. There's not, information in them isn't all that great, but it's just getting down the idea. And then from here, what I'm going to do is further develop that, get into kind of your next stage would be more of a closer along the lines of a final draft, and then on from there into type pencil and etc. So that's basically where we are. And then the other part that we're doing, which I won't show you, is that we're working on the character designs. So all the different characters that are involved. Now, one thing is, you'll see this particular character here is actually, this character is Gwen, one of the main characters in the story. But one thing about kind of as you're developing and researching, I found this particular work, I certainly can't sell her as a work because that work came from but I can use her, let me go back for a second, but I can use her as a concept for an idea to kind of like, okay, how are we going to grow this idea? So eventually this page is going to change a little bit. We're going to have something a little bit more unique to us in terms of the design of the character, which is the characters that I'm working on right over here. But if we go to Clayton Hogan, if we look at his stuff, you can see there's obviously a lot of similarities, and so a lot of that inspiration came from him. And one thing that I really like about his particular work is just obviously it's photography, and they're making calendars and all those sort of things out of it. But one thing I think is really cool, and kind of the play off of like a Laura Croft or those sort of things, but that women can, yes, be beautiful, yes, they can be strong, yes, they can be in control of who they are. And I think those are cool things to point out, but at the same time, it's not diminishing the possibility in terms of who we all can become in terms of society, regardless if we're male or regardless if we're male or female or whatever we are, that we're still going back to core values that, yes, we might be capable and fully capable to do whatever task we need to do, but we also have flaws. And I think that was one thing that I saw in his work in particular, is that there's a degree of flaws that they have, that they possess. And you can see it, her coat is ripped up here, and she's kind of been through the mess of it. Her hair is not necessarily perfect, those sort of things. And I think that's really cool in the context to ultimately where I wanted to take my story, just as the idea of that these characters, we have flaws, and that's what really makes a good story, is those flaws, because those are the pieces that we can ultimately go over the course of a story that can change, or they can grow, or they can fall, or sort of like the Darth Vader characters, like he was this perfect sort of kid, and then ultimately ends up falling, and then, of course, well, the most recent Star Wars destroys all that crap. So, with that being said, this is kind of where we are. I would just really, really, really appreciate, certainly with this sort of a project, it just flat out won't get launched without your guys' support. And so we need your guys' support to be able to be a part of this journey. And so at this point in time, just by signing up for it, what we will be doing as we get closer to May is that we'll be releasing, I think, on May 1st, along with kind of the all that sort of pushing forth the crowdfund on Indiegogo, is that what we'll be doing is that we'll send you an original variant one of its own, an Ashcan, which is just basically a smaller version comic book, if you haven't heard of an Ashcan. But that we'll be sending that as a digital copy to you. We won't be producing that in print. We won't be producing that anywhere else. And that's only going to go to this group that signs up for this. So if you sign up for this, you're going to get that digital version of that. And it'll be basically just an 8 to 12 page. We're kind of playing around with it right now. But 8 to 12 page a comic short of the content you're going to see in this full comic book. And it'll be, I think it'll pretty much, by that point, it'll be in tight pencil. And so all that will be in there. And so I really want to share that with you guys. So the only way you're going to get that is by signing up for this subscription right here. So that's kind of the one big piece that I wanted to talk about. What else I got going? So that's where we are. So I'm really excited in terms of what we're doing. and where we're going, and I'm excited that you guys can be a part of this, and I really look forward to we'll be trying. The other thing that we're going to be doing, I'm going to be hitting it hard, is just every week, every Wednesday, roughly around this time, I'll be posting a video just about this in terms of where we are, what we're doing, and how we're further developing just our goal, and ultimately it's all about getting valuable, good content, authentic stories that are grounded in good storytelling, Joseph Campbell's A Hero's Journey, those sort of things, and really pushing that home to you guys, because and leaving out all the other parts that I think has really hurt the comic book industry. But we'll leave that video for another time. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for sticking around this long. You can please subscribe, like, all that sort of good stuff. Really appreciate that. But more importantly, sign up for this. Sign up for this. Sign up for this, so we can get you that content when we do launch for the crowdfund. So all the best. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
TikvahMinds.com